I'm Caroline Jacob, and I was originally appointed by Merthyr Tydfil Borough Council as the Reference and Local Studies Librarian, but I've recently retired. But I take a keen interest in the history of Merthyr Tydfil, and especially in the town hall. Merthyr Tydfil, where things were developed, where things were invented, where there was the first journey of a passenger carrying steam locomotive. Faraday, who invented electricity, came to Merthyr. Merthyr, that was a tourist attraction just because so many new exciting things were happening here and because of the sheer scale of the industry. The first thing that happened after the Napoleonic Wars, when England and France were at peace, the French realised that they'd been defeated perhaps because their weaponry, their armaments were inferior. So French ironmasters came to Merthyr Tydfil, to Cyfarthfa, to see what they were doing wrong. And it's no coincidence that it was Welsh workers that set up the ironworks in the central Massif and in France. And it was meant for Merthyr because the technology was here that was the most advanced in the world.
I'm Rob Thompson. I'm self-employed. My firm is Buzzards Communications, but I'm working on the restoration of the Old Town Hall in Merthyr Tydfil. Throughout the 19th century, Merthyr Tydfil was a town of huge contrasts. There was wealth for the very few, there was poverty and a great deal of hard work for the many. The town did not have any civic headquarters. They talked here about building a town hall for over 60 years. Finally, in the year 1886, they held a competition for architects to design a town hall. E.A. Johnson completed the winning design, and he was awarded a prize of 10 guineas. Of course, the town hall was the centre of civic life and legal life for nearly 100 years. The council of the time hit on the plan of building a brand new civic centre at the other end of Castle Street. That was completed late in 1989, and the council then moved out from its offices and abandoned the town hall.
We thought that it would go on to great things, and it would be the centre for an awful lot of people. Would go into the town hall, would see the wonderful staircase and the marvellous coloured window, stained glass window, and the town hall would be used by more people than it had been before. And there was so much hope and so much anticipation, and it's such a shame that it seemed to have deteriorated, because there was never the intention, I think, at the time, that the town hall would just be a nightclub.
Eventually, a local voluntary-run organisation, the Merthyr Tydfil Housing Association, was able to buy up the building and successfully apply for grants for the restoration.
I'm Karen Desgate, and I'm the Chief Executive of Merthyr Tydfil Housing Association. The Housing Association bought the Old Town Hall in August 2007. Initially, we were looking at it as part of the regeneration strategy for Merthyr Tydfil, but also potentially for office accommodation for ourselves and some social enterprises. We bought it at a time when the building had changed hands several times since the council had left, and the entrepreneurs that had tried to renovate and rehabilitate the building had found that it was a very difficult and challenging building because the lettable floor area didn't give them a return on the private funds that they were investing. the building holds a special place in the hearts of people within Merthyr Tydfil, and it's very much seen as the key building in the town centre. One of the other things that's very clear is that there's a palpable feeling of disappointment at the way in which the building appears to have been forgotten, but also hope now that they can see the progress that's being made, the funding that's been secured, and now that work has started on site.
Looking at the pictures that we've just taken before the start of the restoration work, you can see that there are the many incredible features that were built into the old town hall by the original architect E.A. Johnson. Of course, the site itself is not level, it slopes severely in two directions, and nor is it rectangular. So the whole building, the two large courthouses at the rear, and the council offices and original council chamber with a grand staircase and commemorative stained window at the front, are all built around a central courtyard. That is going to be restored as part of the work that's now going on.
My name's Ashley Davis. I'm a director with Austin Smith Lord Architects. I'm the architect leading the team for the Merthyr Old Town Hall refurbishment and redevelopment. I think it's fair to say that another winter or two and the building may very well have been in a position that it wasn't able to be saved. So those people who've been intent on saving the building, particularly Merthyr Tydfil Housing Association and the local authority, have done exactly the right thing at the right time. And I think if, as I say, if we'd had an extra couple of winters, then the building might have been in such a state that it wouldn't be repairable. At the end of the Victorian era, Merthyr Tydfil was very much a major player in the Industrial Revolution. And as part of the statement of its civic pride, the Old Town Hall, or the Town Hall, as then was built. And one statement that was made was this fantastic mosaic that was actually laid into the entrance floor with a red dragon and a statement across it stating "The Red Dragon inspires action." This was about 5 years before the Red Dragon as a logo was actually incorporated as a Welsh symbol, so it preempted all of that. A crack has appeared through this fantastic Red Dragon mosaic sitting in the entrance, and that crack almost seems to be making the statement of what's happened to Merthyr over the years. We need to talk about whether we're actually going to restore and remove the crack, or whether the crack is a fantastic statement because of what it epitomises. Refurbishment projects are always fascinating because they're also different. Every project you look at, there's no two the same. So I think what's fascinating about this one is it is an amazing building, iconic in many respects as a late Victorian Old Town Hall. But to actually bring something like that back to life, make it something that has a sustainable future. When I say sustainable, talking about a future whereby the building can operate financially and actually has a future, because as soon as the building's use ceases to work, then the building once again falls into disrepair, and we certainly don't want that. So I think bringing back to life something that was so iconic and can be so iconic again is the fascinating part of a project like this. One way we're actually improving the energy efficiency of the building is to put a roof over the courtyard. What this means is that 30% of the external envelope that we had is now roofed over and is therefore no longer external envelope, and the new roof is therefore highly insulated. But what this also does is it allows us to introduce a brand new space to the Old Town Hall that it never had, which is this courtyard. It's going to be a space that is highly flexible, so the intention is that it would be used for theatre, for music, for conferences, for seminars, for dinners, even for weddings is one of the other thoughts that has been broached. We've designed it so that it has enormous flexibility. As I say, it can set a stage, it will have stage lighting, it will be able to be set up, as I say, as a theatre, but because of its flexibility, as I say, it's great for weddings, and it will be the heart, we always term it the heart of the building. All the circulation around the building will circulate around it, and when it's not being used, it will be a space that we want people to mill in and around. We anticipate there'll probably be artwork in there for much of the time, and that's a great place for people to present and display artwork and just allow people to walk through and enjoy it. If it continues to work successfully, then it's a building that should be around for another 100 years or so.